If someone asked me, Kev, can I use a bathtub as a bog filter? I'd say yeah, you absolutely can. The plug hole gives you a ready-made drain point, you could drill an overflow, or even just tilt it slightly so the water flows back into the pond. So yeah, a bathtub works. But here's the thing, that's not where people go wrong. If you don't already know me, I'm Kev, and I help people build and maintain ponds without spending a fortune. So I had a guy message me today. He's got a 40,000 gallon pond and he wants to use a 250 gallon IBC tote as his bog filter. Now there's nothing wrong with the tote itself, the problem is it's just way too small. That same tote on a 2,500 gallon pond for goldfish would work fine. So it's not the material that's the issue, it's the sizing. If your bog filter's too small, you're not going to get the water quality that you're hoping for. And I've seen some wild setups, like a massive farm dam with muddy water, and someone trying to run one of my little bog in a barrel designs, and they're asking me how long until it clears. So first of all, muddy water isn't even what a bog filter's designed to fix. That's suspended clay particles. They've got this weird ion charge that keeps them floating, and they're so light that they're just going to pass straight through the filter anyway. You need to use a flocculant to clump them together so that they can sink. But even putting that aside, the filter's tiny compared to the volume of water, and that's the real issue. We need to size our filters in relation to the amount of water and how the pond is being used. The next thing is flow rate. In a bog filter, water's moving slowly through rock, pebble and plant roots. And all of those surfaces, you've got bacteria, fungi, algae, and in between them you've got these little organisms that are breaking down waste. But they need time to do that, and if water's just blasting through the filter, you lose that contact time, and the whole system becomes less effective. Then you've got how the filter is designed. In a bog, we actually want areas where waste can settle and stay in the filter. So we need that slower, more dispersed flow. That way it can drop out of the water column instead of just getting pushed straight through and back to the pond. Now there are filters that are designed for higher flow. A typical pond filter might run water through sponges first, that strips out the solid waste, then it pushes it through high surface area media for bacteria. That works, but it comes with a trade-off. Those sponges clog and you've got to clean them regularly. A bog filter's different. It's not just bacteria doing the work, it's the whole mix of organisms, fungi, algae, microbes, all working together to process waste and lock up nutrients. So both systems work, they just do it differently. The next thing is maintenance. A bog filter is low maintenance, but it's not no maintenance. The plants are growing because they're feeding on nutrients in the water, so over time they actually start to take over the filter. Think of them like a slow, or sometimes even fast-growing sponges. But as we thin them out, we're physically removing nutrients from the system. But it's not just the plants, all that waste that settles in the bottom of the bog filter, we need to remove that from time to time as well. And this is where a lot of people get it wrong. If you make it hard to clean, you're just not going to do it. So we want to design it properly from the start. If it's above ground, you can plumb in a flush valve and drain it out easily. If it's built into the ground, like my bog in a stream, you can run a vertical clean-out pipe down into the base. Then you can use a pump, siphon or pond vacuum to pull all that sediment out. And apparently spiders think it's a pretty good hiding spot as well. Because if you don't, eventually it clogs up and you end up rebuilding the whole thing, and that's no fun, so it's just better to plan ahead. So it's not just bathtubs or IBC totes that can be used. You can use all sorts of different materials for a bog filter. I've built mini bogs in plastic containers for wine barrel ponds, bogs in barrels for small to medium ponds, and large ones using liner like the one I mentioned in a stream. I've also helped people use big old water tanks, spa baths, partition off areas in a pool to pond conversion. You name it, we've probably tried it. As long as it holds water and can handle your climate and it's not going to buckle or split, and it's not going to leach anything harmful into the pond, you're good to go. The design might change a little, but I'm always thinking the same things. How is the water flowing through it? How am I going to remove the waste? And is it actually sized for what I'm trying to achieve? Every pond I build follows the same basic principles, and that's the system I put together in my pond formulas blueprint. It's not about copying my ponds, it's about understanding the thinking behind them so you can apply it to your own setup. If you want to check that out, it's over at ozponds.com. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. See ya.